Did you know that the sun contains more than 99.8% of the solar system's mass? But you are bigger than the sun. I'm going to explain it to you. Imagine shrinking the sun down to the size of an orange. No, make it even smaller. Make it the size of a grain of sand that is 1 millimeter in diameter. Now imagine that grain of sand as a point of light in a dark, empty room. Except for that pinpoint light, everything is black. About 14 feet away from the tiny sun is a speck that is the dwarf planet Pluto. You can't see it because it's way too small for the naked eye. That is the outer edge of our solar system. There are a few other specks in between that account for the planets, but almost 100% of the room is space, nothingness. Imagine another room that is 30 kilometers or 18.5 miles away. There is nothing between the two rooms but darkness and nothingness as well. In that room is another tiny glowing grain of sand. That is our closest solar neighbor. Space is immense. It is massive beyond our comprehension, and there is almost nothing in it. Now return to the first room. About 4 inches from the small-scale sun is a speck that is Earth. You are just a speck compared to and living on that speck. Feeling small? Well, that's one way to look at it. When you ponder the universe, you may feel insignificant. You are lost in the bigness of it. But instead of feeling unimportant, I believe the exact opposite is true. What if God created it all just for you? He made each star, planet, and galaxy with phenomenal detail just because He wanted to do it that way for you. He doesn't want a job half done, but one with craftsmanship way beyond anything you would expect. Every rock and ice crystal on Pluto is exactly where He wanted it. Only 1/3 the size of the moon, He built insignificant little Pluto out in the middle of nothingness, where it has little to no impact on your daily life. And yet God built it with a precision that only He is capable. See this stone on Pluto? He placed it in exactly this location. It seems totally arbitrary to you, but it is perfectly where He wanted it. And if you look a little closer, He wanted this indentation on the stone right there. The only way it could have been any more impressive is if maybe it said "Made by God" on it too. Oh, look at that. Have you ever seen the miniature towns that people build? Sometimes they set the stage for a train set, or you might have seen one built around a Christmas tree. Hobbyists spend hours assembling and painting the details of every door, shutter, and feature on each miniature house. When they finish it, they put it on a little street along with all the other carefully crafted houses. People can work on these model towns for years. Why did they do it? Because people love to build things. They enjoy the creativity of taking small building blocks and assembling them into larger, unique structures. It is especially fun when the blocks fit together with various degrees of freedom. For example, the ability to put Legos together in countless ways stimulates amazing creativity. One person builds a car and another a spaceship. A musical note is similar to a Lego. Although there are only 12 notes in the Western scale, there are endless ways to put them together. If 3 or more notes are played at once, they generate a chord. A progression of chords at various time intervals creates the backbone for a melody of a song. From a few notes, artists have produced the 100 million songs on Apple Music. Writers have the luxury of using many more building blocks than musicians. Webster's Third International Dictionary contains over 400,000 entries. However, the words are more restricted than notes. They have to be assembled in specific ways to make sense to the reader. They can be fashioned in simple ways or with great flair. You enjoy creating things because you get that personality trait from God. Just as He enjoyed creating the universe, you enjoy building and creating things too. Whether they're building Legos, writing music or poems, putting together a meal, or writing computer code, you enjoy the process and appreciate the outcome. Think of God, who has eternity to work on His hobbies. He had the idea that He was going to make His version of a little town. He used bundles of energy we know as atoms and molecules as His building blocks. Starting with the Earth, you and all the other things here were designed. He then worked His way out from there and designed each planet, star, and galaxy in the universe. But building it piece by piece wasn't enough of a challenge for God. He wanted to do it in a mind-boggling way. God put nothing but energy into motion at the beginning. The energy waves bumped into each other, forming stable bundles of elementary particles. They then assembled into atoms, atoms into molecules, and molecules into the universe. Since time was no objective to God, you didn't appear until 14 billion years after God's little town started its self-assembly process. That seems like a lot of work to get you on the scene, but God thought you were worth it. If He was going to put you into His world, He wanted it to be special. He made it all for you. When you look at the night sky, pick a star. Then think about how God made that star just for you. And He made the one right next to it for you too. He made all of them for you. Don't feel small in the cosmos, but know how important you are. As the most important thing, you're bigger than the sun. You're not an addition to the universe, but the center of it. Keep thinking, and I look forward to your feedback. Please leave your comments and questions below or contact me at my email address. Until the next video, remember humility, thanks, and joy.